Hi, this video segment is devoted to crew water containers as opposed to personal water containers, which are contained in another video segment here on the Watchu website. As with all of the comments and recommendations we have to offer, these may or may not work better for you, so choose what works best and go for it. The reason you need to look at crew water containers are for two reasons. Always at every camp, regardless of whether it's a trail camp or staff camp, you're going to need water for your dinner, cleanup, and for your containers to be filled up in the morning before you start your hike. The biggest concern though, however, is when you're camping at a dry camp and the nearest water is some distance away. Maybe you've even had to pack your water into that particular campsite. So it's necessary to have crew water containers as opposed to personal water containers that's available to your crew to haul your water. Let's take a look at some of the containers that I have to offer to show you today. The first two that I have are collapsible plastic jugs that fold up nice and flat. These are made by Reliance Company. They're 1 gallon containers, and if I didn't mention it before, we recommend that when you go to a dry camp that each person should have approximately 3 quarts of water available to them in addition to the personal water that they may be carrying. This should provide enough water for you and your crew to have your dinner, clean up, and for water the next morning. Try these. These work very nicely. This two different models by the same company. These again come from Reliance. That's relianceproducts.com. They do take internet orders, which is very handy. They're inexpensive. I think they're less than $10 a piece. This one has a built-in handle, makes it kind of nice. Of course, it's all deflated right at the moment. This one has another built-in type of handle. Again, these are 1 gallon containers. You don't have to fill them all the way up, but it gives you the option of filling them if you wish. This is not a full-size container. This is a smaller container, but it's similar to the ones that Platypus offers on the market. You simply take off the screw-on cap, fill it up, and these come anywhere between 1 quart and 4 quart capacity. They're quite handy. They fold up to nearly nothing. Go in your backpack so that you don't have to take up a lot of space. Those are kind of nice. Here's one I really like. This one is made by a company of Nalgene. This is called a Nalgene canteen. They're getting a little harder to find on the market, but they're still available. What I really like about it is the wide mouth. Makes it very, very easy to fill and for treating the water at night. Again, all these can just slip into your pack and you can carry them around if you have to. The last type, again made by Reliance, is a sort of a jug with a spigot on it. This is a this is a 1.5 gallon model, 6 quarts. They do make one that's 2.5 gallons, which a lot of crews tend to find acceptable if you do not have a dry camp. I tend to prefer the smaller size myself. If you keep in mind that a quart of water weighs 2 pounds, if this is full, that's going to be 12 pounds. A 2.5 gallon one is going to be much, much heavier. So you don't want to buy the 2.5 gallon containers if you're considering a dry camp type of itinerary. They're just too heavy and too bulky to carry. Learned that the hard way. So consider the smaller containers. I call this distributed water weight, where every person has a smaller capacity container. Doesn't matter whether you're staying at a staff camp where water is readily available, or if you're staying at a dry camp where you must pack in your water, or a long day camp where you have to carry your water. The smaller distributed weight will allow you to pack the water in everybody's pack so that everybody shares the weight that needs to be carried. I hope this has helped and that you've learned something. Have a safe trek.